This is an emergency broadcast. Before we even look at a single chart, do me one favor. Take a dollar bill out of your wallet and look at George Washington's face. Look closely. Does he look proud? Or does he look like he knows his legacy has been reduced to plastic junk, bad debt, and worse decisions? If you still think that green paper is money, you're about to learn a lesson in physics, not opinions, not politics, math. Put the remote down, stop scrolling TikTok. The cats are fine. The financial system is not. We have entered a phase of collapse that historians will not call a correction or a recession. They will call it economic war. Today is January 27, 2026, and the battlefield is no longer theoretical. It is mathematical. In a functioning world, prices stay aligned. An asset should cost roughly the same everywhere. Oil in Texas versus Tokyo, an iPhone in New York versus London. Minor differences, nothing more. That rule is now broken. We are living in a split reality. Let me show you the two numbers that define this war. In New York, on COMEX, the paper market controlled by Western banks, silver has been smashed. Short contracts dumped overnight. The price on the screen says around $16. If you're a Western investor, you panic. You think the bubble popped. Wrong. That is the paper price. Now move 7,000 miles east to Shanghai, to a market where people actually take delivery, where silver is needed for solar panels, electronics, and weapons systems. On the Shanghai Futures Exchange, silver is trading around $126. Let that sink in. That is roughly a 20% premium. In arbitrage, 1% is massive, 20% is catastrophic. It's a financial black hole. Now imagine you're a silver refiner in Switzerland. You have a 1,000-ounce bar on your desk. Two phones ring. New York says, "We'll pay 16. Shanghai says, "We'll pay 126. You don't need an economics degree to answer that. You sell to Shanghai, every ounce flows east. This spread guarantees one thing: Western vaults will be drained. London, New York, Toronto, stripped clean. The metal goes to the highest bidder. And right now, that bidder is China. Meanwhile, Western banks celebrate because they smashed the paper price. A perfect illusion, a victory that ensures they will have no inventory left. This isn't a market glitch. This is deliberate. This is economic warfare. And Beijing knows exactly what it's doing. The dollar is crumbling. And the rest of the world is sending a very clear message. We don't want your paper anymore. We want your stuff. They are using arbitrage as a weapon to pull physical silver out of the West and back to the East. And the West is letting it happen because it is addicted to low prices to hide inflation. But here's the real question. Why now? Why did this spread explode by $20 overnight? Because the dam holding back the US dollar has finally broken. The silver arbitrage is not the disease. It's the symptom. The disease is the currency itself. We need to talk about the DXY. We need to talk about the dollar index falling below 96. While you're watching silver priced in dollars, the rest of the world is watching the dollar priced in everything. The floor is collapsing under the reserve currency. You cannot understand the war in the silver market until you understand the battlefield. And the battlefield is the US dollar. For 80 years, the dollar was the anchor of the global system, the measuring stick, the constant. Today, that measuring stick is shrinking. The dollar index, which measures the dollar against its major rivals, has broken below the critical support level of 96. It is now trading around 95.8. This is not a dip. This is a structural breakdown. Year over year, the dollar is down more than 10%. If you held cash for the last 12 months, you lost 10% of your global purchasing power without buying anything. You were taxed silently, and the damage is even clearer in real money pairs. Against the Swiss franc, the dollar is down over 14%. Against the euro, down more than 12%. This is not random. This is coordinated. Central banks in Asia, sovereign wealth funds in the Middle East, pension funds in Europe, they are all reducing dollar exposure at the same time. The world is moving away from a unipolar reserve system and toward a multipolar one. And in that system, one asset stands apart. An asset with no counterparty risk. Silver. Now I know the objection, but the stock market is at all-time highs. My portfolio looks great. Stop looking at numbers. Start looking at value. When a currency collapses, the stock market doesn't crash. It explodes upward. In Venezuela, the stock market became one of the best performers in the world. Did the people get rich? Number. They were fighting inflation just to survive. Stocks went up because the currency went down. That is what you're seeing in New York right now. The highs in the S&P 500 are an inflation illusion. You're not getting wealthier. You're just running in place as the measuring stick shrinks. The only people gaining real wealth are the ones holding the asset that the dollar is being priced against. This collapse in the DXY is the green light Beijing has been waiting for. China has watched the dollar be weaponized. They have watched debt spiral out of control, and now the technical break has confirmed the weakness. The Federal Reserve is trapped. Raise rates, and the economy breaks. Cut rates, and the dollar breaks. That is checkmate, and China is playing its move. They are not firing missiles. They are firing premiums. They are printing their own currency to drain our physical vaults. This is the Shanghai strategy, and to understand it, we have to be honest. The strategy coming out of Beijing is ruthless, predatory, and undeniably brilliant. Most people in the West think the $20 spread between Shanghai and New York is a mistake, a temporary glitch that will fix itself. It won't. That spread is not a bug. It's a feature. It's a weapon. Here's what China has figured out. They are sitting on a massive pile of US Treasury debt, paper that is losing value as the dollar breaks below 96. At the same time, they control their own printing press. They can create unlimited yuan at will. So what do? You don't wait for the West to default. You launch a resource raid. China deliberately allows silver in Shanghai to trade at a massive premium, $126. Not by accident. By design. They know Western banks will do the opposite. They will smash the paper price in New York to $16 to hide inflation. That price gap is the trap. By keeping Shanghai high and New York low, China turns its entire economy into a vacuum cleaner. They are telling the world, we will pay you more than the Americans. Bring us your metal. And the market obeys. Shipments are being rerouted. London bullion dealers, Swiss refiners, Australian wholesalers. Cargo meant for New York is being redirected meter route. Why sell to COMEX at 16 when Shanghai pays 126? This isn't ideology. It's capitalism. The invisible hand of the market is stripping the United States of its strategic silver reserves and delivering them to its biggest geopolitical rival. And here's the genius of the trade. China is paying with yuan, paper they can print endlessly. They are trading infinite currency for finite atoms. Paper for metal, fiat for silver. When the reset comes, who wins? The country holding paper claims, or the country holding physical inventory? That's why this is World War. Not bullets. Inventory. Beijing understands that pricing power comes from supply. If New York has no silver, New York cannot set the price. Pricing authority shifts east. The London fix becomes the Shanghai fix. And the United States goes from pricier setter to pricier taker. This $20 premium is the artillery barrage. The vault data confirms it. Inventory is bleeding out. But the empire won't surrender quietly. The banks in New York see the drain, and they've launched a counterattack. They couldn't find more metal, so they attacked the players instead. A desperate move, dangerous, and designed to force liquidation. We need to talk about their margin hike. We need to talk about the $50 and $1,000 weapon they just put to the head of every silver bull. Let's go to part 4. The empire is striking back. When you're losing a war, your currency is collapsing. Your vaults are being raided. You don't play fair. You cheat. You change the rules mid-game. And that is exactly what the CME Group, owners of COMEX, just did. They hit the market with blunt force, a margin hike like nothing we've ever seen. Effective immediately, the maintenance margin to hold a single silver contract has been raised to $51,977. To put that in perspective, a standard contract represents 5,000 ounces of silver. Normally, The margin is around $10,000 to $15,000, enough to allow leverage, liquidity, and smooth trading. Now it's $51,977. Here's what that does. Imagine you're a hedge fund manager or speculator holding 100 contracts, betting on silver's rise. Suddenly, you get a notice. By today's close, you must wire an extra $3 million. You don't have it. You're fully invested. Your only choice: sell. This triggers a wave of forced selling. Hundreds, maybe thousands, of traders liquidate at the same time. The result: the paper price crashes. This is why COMEX shows silver at $16. Not because demand fell, not because supply changed, because the margin rules were weaponized to force a collapse. It's psychological warfare. The exchange wants you to panic, to doubt your physical stack. They want the arbitrage window to close, hoping Shanghai will panic too. But here's the flaw. China does not buy on margin. The People's Bank of China and industrial buyers pay 100% cash up front. They are not speculators. They are real buyers. When COMEX raises margins, it hurts the New York trader, but it does nothing to stop Shanghai. In fact, it makes the vacuum stronger. By smashing New York to $16, American silver just got cheaper for China. It's a sales sign for Beijing. This is a suicidal strategy by the West. Burning the furniture to heat the house, destroying liquidity to survive one more day. And they're not stopping at price manipulation. A second front has opened: the narrative. Suddenly, social media is flooded. Influencers who haven't mentioned silver in years are warning it's a bad investment. It's illiquid. Don't touch it. Meanwhile, the world's top refiners are saying the opposite. The lie versus the reality. The empire is attacking the market and your mind. And we're just getting started. This is the part of the war fought not with money, but with words. We've seen the arbitrage bomb. We've seen the margin hike. Now we need to look at the propaganda campaign. When the powers that be cannot fix the supply, or when they physically cannot mine enough metal to meet demand, or they attack the demand instead. They try to make you not want it. Open your phone. Check the financial news feed. Suddenly, out of nowhere, experts who haven't mentioned silver in decades are writing hit pieces. Bloomberg, CNBC. Headlines screaming things like, "Why silver is a trap for retail investors, the liquidity myth. Can you really sell your bars? Is silver the new petroc?" Coincidence? In the middle of a collapsing currency number. This is a script. They are terrified. They know if even 1% of American retirement money moves into physical silver, COMEX could break in a single afternoon. So they gaslight you. They tried to make you panic. Look at the screen. See the paper price at $16 and think it's crashing. Sell now. Here's the rule of surviving an information war. Ignore the pundits. Listen to the plumbers. Don't listen to the guy in a suit selling paper derivatives. Listen to the guy in a hard hat melting silver. Listen to the refiners. And the refiners are screaming. We just received a leaked memo from PAMP Swiss, the gold standard of refining. If metal moves, PAMP knows first. What did they say? Not that demand is soft. Not that investors are selling. They said, "We are seeing demand at levels we have really not seen before." Levels we have not seen before. Think about that. PAMP has been in business since 1977. They survived the Hunt brothers squeeze in 1980, the 2008 financial crash, the 2011 squeeze, and right now, January 2026, demand is higher than ever. They are running foundries 24/7, paying triple overtime, and still cannot keep up. Wholesale backlogs are stretching into April. Order 1,000-ounce bar today. You are buying a promise, not a product, to a bar that may not arrive for months. This is the reality. The physical market is on fire. Shelves are empty. Refiners are overwhelmed. And yet, COMEX shows $16. That price is a lie, a blue screen of death for the financial system. The computer says one thing, reality says the opposite. This disconnect is the ultimate signal. When the price drops but shortages worsen, The price mechanism is broken. It is no longer a tool for discovery, it's a tool for deception. The $16 price, a gift. The banks are practically paying you to take the metal off their hands before the system collapses. But you have to see through the smear campaign. You have to understand what's real and what is scripted. You have to be smart enough to realize this. When they tell you you can't sell silver, what they really mean is, please, don't buy any more. Here's the final picture. We have the arbitrage vacuum sucking metal to China. We have the dollar collapse destroying the measuring stick. We have the margin hikes, desperately capping the paper price. And we have the refiners confirming the physical market is sold out. There is only one way this ends. The rubber band is stretched too far. It will snap. And when it snaps, it won't be gentle. It will be a violent overnight revaluation that wipes out anyone holding paper and crowns anyone holding metal. Here's the verdict. We have mapped the battlefield of World War Silver. We've shown you the $20.80 arbitrage vacuum, draining every ounce of metal from the west to the east. We've shown you the DXY collapse, the king dollar naked and afraid below 96. We've shown you margin desperation, COMEX raising the buy-in to $51,000 to force traders to fold. And we've shown you refiner reality, Pamp Swiss confirming factories are running hotter than in 50 years despite the paper price drop. This is not speculation. It's mathematical certainty. You cannot have the same asset trading at $16 in New York and $126 in Shanghai indefinitely. That is not a market. That is a crime scene. Every day this spread exists. Another 1,000 bars leave American vaults and fly to Beijing. Every day, the West loses and the East gains. COMEX has backed itself into a corner. Only two choices remain and both are fatal to the old system. Choice 1. Admit defeat. Stop suppression. Stop margin hikes. Let New York catch up to Shanghai. Silver jumps to $130 overnight. Shorts are wiped out. Banks lose billions, but the market survives. Choice 2. Keep fighting. Keep the price smashed at $16. Pretend shortages don't exist. Vaults hit zero. COMEX is forced to declare, we don't have the metal. At that point, the price doesn't just jump, it goes to no offer. Dollars become useless against real, scarce assets. This is financial chicken between the Federal Reserve and the laws of physics. Physics always wins. The $20 gap must close. And it won't close by Shanghai lowering its price. They are the buyers. The cash is in the east. The gap closes when New York explodes upward. Final warning. Do not get shaken out by volatility. Do not let the $51,000 margin hike scare you. That is not strength, it is weakness. Do not trade your silver, the only asset flowing to the highest bidder, for dollars, the asset crashing against everything from the Swiss franc to a loaf of bread. Do not hoard cash. Cash is the victim in this war. The window is closing not because the price is rising but because the metal is leaving the continent. China is buying it all. If you want to be on the right side of this, you need to hold firm. If you want to be on the winning side of this world war, follow what the victors are doing. Hold the metal. Let the banks play their paper games. Let them short each other into oblivion. You sit tight. Watch the spread. Wait for the inevitable moment when COMEX breaks and the true price of silver is revealed to the world. The spread is $20. The vaults are draining. Hold the line. This is John A.G. Like, subscribe, and share.